Hi, Dan here, Scooterotica. Right, we've just finished up on the dyno after quite a busy morning, and we've done an exhaust back-to-back test, so I thought I'd do a quick video just to let you know the results of that. A couple of weeks ago, had Gary in with his RB250. It's got a Darrell Taylor tuned cylinder on it, 34mm Delorto flat slide, and it then had the AF Race Speed Tornado exhaust on it, and that put out a really great result. It was 36.3 horsepower with 23.5 foot-pounds of torque. The peak power on the Tornado exhaust is up at 9,000 RPM, so it is quite a revvy pipe, but with revs come speed, as long as you've got the power and the gearing to pull those revs. And at 36.3 horsepower, you know, Gary's bike, fair tramped on. But it got this new pipe, and it is a variation on the JL RB race pipe, and this is made for Darrell Taylor by JL, and they supply him with these in small batches with the variations that he prefers. It's double skinned in the last 2/3 of the pipe for extra silencing qualities. It's a triple sprung rear silencer, his own silencer that he has fitted. It's got an additional slip joint in it at the front end of the pipe, which is a really important feature. A lot of pipes, when they're fitted, they can be under tension, and with engine movement and, you know, bad road surfaces and one vibration, one thing another can lead to cracking. So this really helps alleviate those problems with cracking of pipes and with fitting issues. So the extra slip joint, and then it's also got an enlarged stinger, which really helps with reduction of heat and getting rid of the gases on the larger CC motors like the RB250 and similar sorts of motor. So we ran that up, and the result that came off the dyno for that was 35.7 horsepower. So within half a horsepower of the Tornado pipe, but more importantly, it achieved that almost identical performance at nearly 1,000 RPM lower. I think it was about 800 RPM lower at peak, which means that it's producing the same, you know, or almost identical power, but nearly 1,000 RPM lower, which means your engine's going to be revving a lot more at the same speeds otherwise than it would be, and thus less wear and less stress. But the more significant feature is that from 3,500 RPM up to peak, it produces more power in the lower and mid-range right up through the rev range. And at significant points in the rev range, like 6,000 RPM, which is where you might be travelling at, say, around the 60 mile an hour mark, it's producing 6 horsepower more at that point. This all means that basically from the bottom end 3,500 through to peak at 8,250, it's got more horsepower through the entire mid-range. It's also got the same peak torque at 23.5 foot-pounds, but it holds it. It's a much flatter torque line, and it holds that torque much better. So you're going to find that the pulling power of this pipe through the mid-range and out on the road is going to be much better than the Tornado. But they're both great pipes, and there is no bad pipe in either of them. They're both good pipes, and there's no loser here, because if you want the pipe that's got the higher RPM, so you can pull those higher top speeds and go for the 9,000 RPM, the Tornado's the pipe for you. If you want the lower revving pipe, thus less stress on the engine with the added features of the larger stinger and the added slip joint and the more power in the mid-range, then the Darrell Taylor version of the JL race pipe is for you. They're both great pipes. I think out on the road, the majority of users will probably pitch for the Darrell Taylor version of the JL, but there's always those guys who like that ultimate revs and performance, and so the AF Tornado would be the one for them. The pipe from Darrell is 389 in bare finish, and then he does a high temperature sort of powder coating on the a finish to the pipe, which is what Gary went for. That's an extra 50 quid if you want those. They're in small batches, they're to order only, but they're available through Darrell. But all in all, both great pipes, great result for both. Just a few subtle differences between each one, but good result either way. So another good result. There may be a third instalment to this. We've got some possible other mods which may be made to the engine, but we'll wait a little bit to see what happens there, and that's a bit of a teaser for you to see if there's going to be a third instalment to this. But for now, that's the result from the back-to-back testing. Both good pipes, one at the 9,000 RPM range, one at the 8,000 sort of 200 rev range, but one with a flatter curve and some few added features to it. So that's all for now. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you on the next one.